Hey guys, Dr. Mark Lewis Johnson Sr. here, and welcome to another edition of the Blue Jacket Book Review. Now, today's book is called Strategic Thinking: How to Think and Plan Strategically and Provide Direction. Now, this is John Adair. He's a longtime veteran at this thing. He's the one that coined the phrase strategic leadership in the 1970s. And so this book is all about strategic leadership origin, transition to strategic leadership, concluding with strategic leaders' responsibility. So he really takes a history of strategic leaders all the way back to military combat style type of leaders. And he really leans in today because he's this willingness to provide a historical context to the evolving topic of leadership, gave insight into the triumphs and mistakes of the past. So really dealing with a lot of history here and really going into letting individuals know that the people who are new to strategic leading, how can I help? And he helps by taking them, giving them historical context. So strategic leadership, it brought an understanding of the foundational principles here, historical relevancies, practical insights, and foundational principles, historical relevancies, all those kind of things, systematic planning, complete with examples, checklists, practical advice. Adair does a great job of offering leaders experience from mentors from world-renowned like Peter Drucker and others whose management abilities covered a lot of ground in the field of leadership. So you have a lot of individuals working in strategic leadership, and he brings all of that to bear as he walks through. There's a couple of things that he lifts out in this book that I think is important. He says, strategic leadership establishes credentials and solidifies credibility. If you have a strong strategic leader, it does give you credibility along the way. He provides link to the ancient military world. He goes back to ancient Greece. He goes back to those thinkers such as Socrates, who has strategic leadership, validating leaders. And in order for the leaders to be validated, they must think strategically. You're not just up there leading. There's a plan. There's something in place that makes sense. Another thing he focuses in on is strategic thinking and planning. He believed that it becomes strategic when three things occur, that focuses on the important rather than the urgent. Sometimes urgent matters take precedent, but it's the important. Focuses on the longer term rather than the shorter term. Like you have a plan that's thinking long term, so even in the short term, when people are panicked, you're kind of at ease because you know that there's a long game to be played. And then it offers relevant elements or factors in the equation rather than just one. So you're really bringing in more people, more parties, more individuals who can connect in along the way. Then the last thing he talks through is just harmonizing among the organization. He presented 7 strategic leadership functions that he thinks is critical. Number 1, building relationships. Number 2, just like giving directions. Number 3, building partnerships and releasing corporate spirit, a vibe that's in there. Teaching and using manageable imaginations. These are kind of things that crosses the old generation and the new generation. So strategic leadership is one of those books that you got to have if you're in leadership in any way, shape, or form, because it provides you with some historical documents, with really an understanding of what strategic leadership is all about and how you go about executing it along the way. So I'm Dr. Mark Lewis Johnson Sr. That is strategic leadership: how to think and plan strategically and provide direction. If you want more books like this, you can go to my website at marklewisjohnson.com. Or if you have a book that you'd like to connect in with me and want me to read, or have a comment about this particular book, why don't you give me an email at info@marklewisjohnson.com. But in the meantime, may God bless you and keep you in his perfect peace.